It's Sunday. Let's meal prep. Here we have everything that we are going to be eating for this week. This is everything I should need to meal prep for 3 meals for 7 days. So we got we're gonna make some egg burritos for breakfast. We're gonna have some basically chicken stir fry, chicken rice and veggie stir fry for lunch. And then you have some flank steak with sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts for dinner. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So I'm really gonna start with getting my pan hot over here. I'm gonna start getting the breakfast stuff ready to go, because the way I'm gonna do this, because I'm gonna make it for 7 days, so it's a lot of eggs and stuff to cook all at one time. And I wanna have as little of it as possible stick to my pan, so I'm gonna bake the eggs. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my sausage started in the skillet, and I'm gonna get all the eggs and everything all whisked together and seasoned up. I'm gonna throw them in a cake pan and put them in the oven. So I'm gonna get the oven preheating as well at 350 degrees so we can do that. And we can be preparing all the other stuff while that cooks. So let's get some of this stuff out of the way and start mixing up our eggs. So here we've got a mixing bowl set up on our food scale, because we're gonna weigh everything out, because obviously we're meal prepping to stick to our calorie goal each day. So we wanna be as accurate as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my bowl on here, turn on my scale, makes it to where it's already zeroed out. And for my egg whites, I'm going to have 184 grams of these per day. So for 7 days, that's 1,288 grams of egg whites. So I'm just going to start dumping in here, and it'll take at least a full 2 and then most of the third one to get to 1,288. We get about 443 out of that one. All right, there we've got our 1,288 grams in there, just a little bit left in this container that we can use for another day. The pan is now hot, so we're gonna go ahead and throw our sausage, turkey sausage, we're using some turkey sausage for this, into the skillet. We're gonna use 1 serving a day. This has about 6 servings each. So we're gonna be using 490 grams of this. So let's get us a little knife and a bowl to weigh that out. All right, so we've got a paper plate here. Going to try to reduce the number of dishes I have to do at the end of this. I'm just going to cut this open, start dumping it on the plate until we get to 490 grams. So we're at 0 right now. We know it's going to take at least a full tube. Little trick here, if you poke a hole in the bag, don't cut yourself. The meat will slide out a little bit easier to let some air in there. Apparently not a whole lot easier. There we go. That is pretty dang close, actually. That's 472. So a little over 6 servings. So we're gonna just take this. We're gonna hit the skillet with a little bit of non-stick. Probably not needed since there's quite a bit of fat in the sausage, but just so it doesn't stick. This can go over here with the egg beaters I'm not using. And let's just go ahead and start breaking the sausage up. Turn that down a little too high for me. All right, so we broke that up a little bit. We're gonna let that continue cooking. And we're gonna start breaking up our eggs. We're gonna be having 2 eggs with this every day. So I am gonna throw 14 eggs in here with the egg whites. I'm trying to get little to no shell, and I'm pretty sure I just got a shell in there. That's gonna be lovely to find later. So that'll be pleasant. And now that I've got 14 eggs added in here, only 1 left in my container, toss that over here to the side. We're gonna season them up a little bit of salt, some pepper, More pepper. I like my eggs a little peppery. Some onion powder and garlic powder. Basic seasonings. Use those on everything. I'm probably going to use the same seasoning on the chicken later. Lots of garlic. Peppery and garlicky. That's what I like. Season however you want. I mean, come on. Seasonings don't have any calories in them, so no need to track what you're putting in there. And then we're just going to grab a whisk and mix this all up. Let's do it. So these are just about all mixed up. It looks like the sausage is about ready to come off of the heat. So we'll just move that over. Finish mixing these up. Then we're going to grab our glass cake pan. Keep seeing an unbroken yolk pop up at the top. All right, let's grab that cake pan. We're going to grease it up. Don't worry about how much of this cooking spray I use. I'm sure there's a few calories in it, but not enough to make a huge difference. I'm not trying to get down to single-digit body fat, so not currently anyway. Maybe eventually. All right, we're just going to dump some of this in here. So that's about half of the mixture. Let's find the other cake pan and put it in there. All right, here we go. There's the other cake pan. We're going to slap a little cooking spray in it. A non-sticky stick. Dump the rest of this mixture in here. Try to get them about the same depth. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Found the shell. Not going to eat it after all. Heck yeah. I'm excited about that one. Okay, we're just going to pop these in the oven. I don't know how long. We're just going to keep checking throughout the process to see if they're done. Careful not to spill any of the eggs on yourself. So there we are there. So as far as breakfast goes, that's it for now until the eggs are done. We'll finish that up once those are ready to come out. So for now, we're gonna move on to prepping some of our lunch and dinner items. All right, got a couple mixing bowls here. We need this pan to cook up our flank steak. So we're gonna transfer about half of the sausage into each of these bowls so that we can just mix half and half so that it's not an overly full bowl with our egg mixture. For the breakfast burritos, when they come out, we're just gonna empty all this in here. And honestly, I'm not particularly worried about my flank steak tasting a little bit like sausage. So I'm not even going to rinse this thing out. I'm going to throw it right back on the heat. Move these out of the way until the eggs are done. And let's grab our flank steaks. Here are the flank steaks. I will say right now, if you guys aren't shopping at a local discount grocery store, you need to do so. I went and bought about two, I think 10-pound packages of flank steaks, and I now have separated them into individual Ziploc bags for 25 bucks a piece. So that's what, $2.50 a pound. I don't know what they normally run at Walmart or Costco or wherever you shop, but I'm pretty sure it's not $2.50 a pound. So yeah, I don't ever get flank steak, but this week we're having it. So let's go ahead and grab our scale here. We're gonna grab our bowl to weigh it out, and we're gonna grab a cutting board so we can make sure we've got the right amount here. Set that up to 0. Now, with the flank steak, we are eating 10 ounces a day for 7 days. So that's gonna be 70 ounces of flank steak. So we're gonna switch over from grams to ounces here. Whopping 70 on the screen. If you want to clean up your meat, you should always clean your meat. You want to clean up the meat, trim some fat and stuff, do it. I don't bother with that. I'm very easy to please with my food, so I don't have to trim it. I don't cut the fat and stuff off of my chicken, none of that stuff. So we got about 38.5 right there. If we use all of it, 66.3. So we're going to go slightly less than what we had planned on. All right, so with that little discrepancy there, we're actually going to have 9.4 ounces of flank steak every day. So we're going to go ahead. That whole thing should fit into my pan. So I'm just going to go ahead and season it up a little bit. A little S&P. Some onion powder and some garlic powder. I'm very generous with my seasonings. Just take that stuff, make it taste good. Please don't come after me for the way I cook this flank steak. I don't cook steak like ever. I eat on a budget all the time. Steak is usually not in that budget, so I don't know how to properly cook it, I suppose, and how I should season it. I should be smacking it around a bit beforehand. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, though. I mean, I'm happy to learn. All right, we're just going to slap this on this hot pan. From what I do understand of a small amount of cooking steaks, 4 or 5 minutes on each side, I think. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit for a few minutes. I'm going to season up this other steak. This one is a little bit bigger, so I'm going to cut it in half. Season it up the same way. While we've got this meat over here going, I have 4 bags of Brussels sprouts here that we're going to have with kind of steak, with sweet potato wedges and Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to start chucking these in the microwave since they are frozen, and then we're going to throw them on a sheet pan at some point and roast them in the oven. So while we've got some Brussels sprouts in the microwave, we've got some steak on the stove, we got some eggs in the oven. Let's go ahead and prepare our rice for our chicken stir fry. So I was watching a YouTube video very recently and was watching someone make this recipe. Don't remember the channel. It just popped up on my feed. But they said use day-old rice. So I prepared this rice last night. Apparently it makes for the best stir fry. So we're going to whip up a little mixture of some soy sauce, some sriracha sauce. I'm going to use minced garlic. He was using garlic powder. And we're going to put that on this rice, and we're going to put it on our chicken as well. So let's go ahead and get some of that mixed up. All right, so here we've got our stuff for that. I don't measure like anything when it comes to low calorie stuff. So we're just going to do a lot of soy sauce. We're doing our chicken and our rice, so a lot. About a half a bottle, maybe a little more. Might be too much, I don't know. We're going to dump some sriracha. If you like sriracha, do more of it. I love sriracha. I'm going to do about that much. I don't know how much that was. I don't measure a lot of stuff. I measure the stuff that has calories, that's it. And usually I measure in grams. Then we're going to throw a bunch of minced garlic in there. Pre-jarred stuff for me. Mince your own if you want. I like garlicky stuff, so 3 heaping teaspoons. Mix all that up. Then we're going to dump, I'm going to dump all this in here, and I'm going to make a little bit more for the chicken. So just dump that in with the rice. You know what? Actually, let's do that. I'll leave this little bit for the chicken. Then we're going to start mixing this rice up. That might have been a lot. This is turning really dark real quick, but you know what? Even if it turns out too strong, I'll still end up eating it. I don't waste my food. Then we're going to dump a whole 2-pound bag of these mixed vegetables in there to go with it. We're gonna mix that all in. And we'll throw this away. Alright, it's probably time to flip this steak. I haven't been paying attention. So let's do so. Oh yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me, how's that look? Is that a little too charred or just about right? Then let's go ahead and mix up this rice and veggies. And with this all mixed up, we're gonna go ahead and throw it on a cookie sheet. Let's grab that right here. Great big cookie sheet. I'm not gonna worry about parchment paper. I'm just gonna cooking spray the crap out of it. Again, if I know, I'm pretty sure I have not said this throughout this video. I am not recommending that you eat like me, but this is just some stuff that I wish I would have seen when I was first meal prepping. Some different ideas, and when I was first starting to lose weight. So if you like this, do it. If not, then by all means, eat whatever you like. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. No one's going to be able to follow the same dietary plan as someone else, or as everyone else. So, but this is what works for me. So if I haven't said for this specific dish, the amount of rice in here is 1 cup of cooked rice. So I've got 3.5 cups uncooked rice that I cooked up in a pot last night. I have 1 2-pound bag of mixed veggies, which when you split that up into 7 days, the mixed veggies comes out to be 133 grams per serving, or per dish anyway. So we're just gonna even this out a little bit. We're gonna throw it in the oven. Check our eggs while we're at it. Oh, they're not done, but they're coming along nicely. Don't grab the pans while they're hot without... Oh, yeah, this still got a little while. But they're coming along. Then we're going to grab our chicken, cut it up, and put the sauce over it so that we can cook it as well. So we've got our bags of chicken here thawed out, bowl, and scale. We are having 200 grams of chicken breast per meal. So that's going to be an even 1,400 grams for the week. So that's zeroed out. I do weigh my chicken uncooked. It's just what I've always done. I've listened to a lot of back and forth in the reasoning behind weighing it cooked versus uncooked. I always weigh mine uncooked. That's what I've always done. It's what I'll continue to do, because even though it might not be 100% accurate to what is in there, it is accurate to what I've always done. So if I'm putting on weight, and I have always weighed my chicken uncooked, and I need to cut weight, if I just cut the amount of uncooked chicken I'm eating, or that I weigh out, then that's going to be dropping my calories. So that's why I weigh mine as I do. So this is 1,274. This is going to put me over by quite a bit, I think. Yes, that's 1,620. So we're a bit over. I'm going to cut off. We're only going to throw about 200 additional grams in there. So let's cut off a bit like that. A little bit more. Still a little bit more. I'm not very good at this apparently. There we go, 1,400. And then we're going to move this steak out of the way so that we can cut our chicken up into like some strips. All right, so let's get this chicken all cut up. Just basic strips and chunks, nothing fancy here. Just cut it down the center. Like I said, I don't trim this either. I just eat it, whatever comes on it. If I get a chicken breast that's like really bad shape, then I'll go about doing that. But Typically, I don't worry about it. So that right there is kind of about how we're going to cut up the rest of these chicken breasts. We'll be right back when that's done. All right, now that we've got that all done, we're going to throw our mixture back in here. I say back in here, we're going to throw it in there. We're just going to go in and mix that up a bit. All right, that's all good, so we can set that aside until it's ready to cook. Rinse our hands and check this steak. All right, so let's go ahead and grab this steak off of here. I'm sure this one's probably done. Is that burnt? I think that might be a little bit burnt. It'll be all right. It won't kill me. Throw a little more spray in there and throw the next one on. I think I went more than 5 minutes that side. Let that rest. Then we're gonna start cutting up our sweet potatoes. Let's grab those. All right, let's go ahead and weigh these sweet potatoes out. So got our scale here, something to put them in. We're having 250 grams per day with these. 1,750 grams of sweet potato. So let's see what we got here. Close enough. 1,740. Good enough for me. So I'm gonna grab a plate to put these steaks on so I can use the cutting board for the potatoes. So just take one of these potatoes, slice it in half. I need a bigger knife. That's not doing the trick. Slice them in half that way. Slice them in half again. I'm going to kind of slice those in half. I'll probably make them about that size. So I'm going to cut one potato into 8s. And put them back in there. We're going to do that for the rest of the potatoes and then probably flip that steak. So we are done cutting up the potatoes. We got wedges that look about that size. Pretty good. Now we're going to go ahead and flip this next steak. Hopefully these look good on the inside. I do not cook steak very often. So we're going to take this bowl and throw all these potato wedges in here. And I'm just going to use cooking spray. Use some olive oil, vegetable oil, whatever type of oil if you want. I'm just using this to keep it low calorie and so that we can have something for the salt to kind of stick to when I throw it in there. And we're just going to salt the crap out of these. I like salty fries. Very, very salty sweet potato fries. Another hit of salt. There we go. Now these are going to go on a cookie sheet of their own. We've got right here. Spray it. And we're going to spread these out on here. We're going to put about half of these on here. The other half are going to stay in the bowl for now. So that takes care of that. We're going to toss those in the oven, and the eggs are going to be done now, so we'll go ahead and pull those out. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab this, throw this in its place. Oh yeah, that rice, fried rice is coming along. Baked rice, I suppose. So now we're going to take these eggs and go ahead and throw them in with the sausage over there. Grab one of these bowls. Grab a spatula of some sort. Handy dandy mitt because I don't want to burn myself. We're going to start breaking these eggs up and dropping them down in there. Break them up a little bit. They'll break up more when we get them in there with the sausage. Start stirring it around. What this is going to do, though, this is real quick, going to free us up another pan so we can throw the rest of our fries, sweet potato fries, in the oven. So, hit this with a little more nonstick. Get some of this stuff out of here. Rest of the fries. Space them out a bit. Let's slap those right back in there. Great. Then we're going to go ahead and start mixing this up with the sausage in this bowl. With the eggs and sausage, while it's still hot especially, we're also going to throw some shredded sharp cheddar cheese in there. So we're going to throw about half of this bag in this mixture. The other half will go in the other mixture. Again, we're only splitting these mixtures because I don't have a bowl, I don't think, that's big enough to mix all of this without making a huge mess. So this is what we're doing. Breaking all these eggs up where it's more scrambled eggs. Break the sausage up a little bit more. Get it more evenly spread. Get a decent amount in each burrito with every bite. Get that cheese melty. Boom, there we go. We got half of our egg burrito mixture to set aside. Let's do the other half. All right, now that we're done mixing up both of our batches of the egg mixture, we're gonna go ahead and pull this steak number 2 off of the heat. It is good to go. And steak number 3 is going on after we throw a little bit of more on the pan. Steak number 3 coming in hot. That one should be done here in just a little bit. Now that we have this cake pan over here, we can go ahead and clean it out a little bit. We're going to throw this chicken in there. We're going to put it in. We're going to bump that temperature on the stove up to 400 degrees. I like to cook my chicken. This is something I do cook a lot, so I do know how I like it. Chicken, I like to cook 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. It keeps it kind of juicy still, so that throughout the week it's not super chewy and dry. So that's cooled down enough to touch. So let's go ahead and just get some of the egg off of it that's stuck. And I don't know about you guys, but this egg that's stuck in here, this is not going in the trash. I accounted for these calories. They are going in my belly. So I'm just gonna get this burnt stuff kind of off of there, and I'm gonna dump it into my egg mixture. I'm not wasting that. No way. And hit it with a little non-stick again. Bump this temperature up. Dump this chicken in here. Or spread it out and throw it in the oven. And yeah, this pan, it's super overcrowded for the amount of chicken that's in it. As you can tell, it'll cook just fine. It's all going into a stir fry, so it's not gonna make that much of a difference. However, I have a conundrum. I don't have room in here for it. So, let's take this, put it over here. We're gonna take this one and slide it in here. Boom. Now we got room. I need to adjust those shelves a little bit different where they're not so close together. All right. Your work area is going to get messy as you're doing this. A little bit of a pro tip here. Try to keep it as clean as possible while you're doing it. It's not going to be perfect, but it is going to help to keep it at least clean up a little bit here and there, clean some dishes in between. So So we're gonna let that go for another minute or two. We're gonna throw this steak over here on the other one. Our Brussels sprouts still need to go in the oven to roast, but we can start wrapping our burritos because those are completely done. So let's get this area prepared for that. So here's what I'm going to do to keep it as easy as possible for me to get all burritos as close as possible, because I'm making 2 burritos per day and for 7 days. So that's 14 burritos. Instead of just eyeballing it and running out and then doing that, I'm going to go ahead and dump all of both of the egg mixtures into this bowl on the scale. Figure out the weight, divide that by 14, and then we will know how much to put on each burrito. So here's mixture number 1. Don't want to miss out on any of that good cheese in there. Stuff's delicious. And then mixture number 2. And we have 2,438 grams. About 200 grams per burrito. So let's start doing that. We're going to take 200 grams at a time, wrap it up into a burrito, set it off to the side until we've got 14 burritos. I use these Extreme Wellness low-calorie tortillas. I think they taste pretty dang good. 50 calories per tortilla. There's 8 in a pack. And a typical tortilla is going to run about 250 calories by itself, so I really like these. Let's grab a plate here. Oh, we'll actually grab another cutting board. That's what we'll do. Zero out the scale here. Take about 200 grams worth. That was 50. There's 6. All right, 205. Close enough. These are gonna be some thick burritos, boy. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can do this. Let's go about this a different route here. Let's grab our meal prep containers. We will make our burritos the day of. So we're going to throw our egg mixture into this bowl. 400 grams of it. $400. Boom. And then we'll grab 2 tortillas that day, and we will eat them with the mixture. That's how we're going to store these. So, take this one. Look at that. That much eggs. It's going to be mixed and put onto some tortillas to make egg burritos. So we're just going to continue this for 14 containers. So we'll be back when we're done with that. All right, we have finished. I know I said 14 containers. I realized that after. 7 containers have been split up with the egg mixture. Then we'll throw these back in here, and we'll just grab them each day when we heat up our breakfast. That'll make it the easiest. I don't have to sit there and wrap these. I can be messy when I eat them each day. I don't need to make a huge mess doing that now. Don't need to. This one. And now our steak should be done. So we'll go ahead and turn this heat off. Looking pretty tasty. Take that off the heat. And let's go ahead and see how our fried rice is doing. Oh, it could stand longer. I did not check. I did not set a timer for my chicken, but it's not done yet. So right now we are to a point we're going to go ahead and start closing up these containers for the breakfast, put them in the fridge, and we do have to wait a little bit for the stuff in the oven to finish up, but we'll be back whenever that is ready to go. All right, well, while we continue to wait for the chicken stuff to get done, we can go ahead and start cutting up this steak here. This is going to go along with our Brussels sprouts and sweet potato fries. I'm curious to see what this looks like inside, how I fared. Let's see. It's pretty dang juicy, I know that much. All right, there's a center, kind of a centerish piece that I think that looks pretty dang good, if you ask me. Looks like a nice color. Oh man, kind of a crispy outside. I kind of want to try a piece. But I counted for these calories for next week. Don't want to starve myself, you know? It is a shame, though, to not have any and just... All right, we'll eat this end piece right here. All right, that's pretty dang good. Oh yeah. All right, so I believe the stir fry mixture, the rice and veggies, are going to be at the point that I can pull those out. So we're going to go and do that now. We're going to get them dumped into this bowl. And the chicken should be pretty close to done. So we're going to, actually, I think we're going to go ahead and pull it out too. Let it rest for a moment. Oh yeah, that's done. Pull the stir fry out. Hot. Alrighty, there we go on that. So, we're going to start pulling this chicken off, cutting it up, and putting it into this bowl. So, let's do that just a bit here. Chicken might have got left in a little too long. It'll be alright though. Be mixed in with the rice and stuff, it won't matter too bad. Alrighty, let's get to cutting some of this up. We're just going to dice it up in small pieces, throw it in here, kind of like so. We're going to do that for all this chicken, and then we'll dump the rice mixture in as well. So we'll be back as we finish that up. So now that we've got all the chicken diced up, I'm going to go ahead and split this in half into another large bowl. Just so, again, so we don't make a huge mess here. And we'll do the rice between the two bowls. There's a chunk I did not cut up at all, so let's do that. Cut this chunk I missed up. Then we're going to take one of our large spatulas over here. Get your spatula. We're going to move some of this rice over here into these bowls and get those mixed up. So it'll look so like this. And now that we got that one in there, we're just going to mix that all up. Baking it like this. Of course, we avoid all of the fats from the oils that we would be frying it in, and gives it a little bit of a crispy texture on some of the rice. Didn't do it to all. If I had spread it out on 2 cookie sheets, it probably would have gotten more crispy in each bite, but this will be a pleasant texture and taste. And now we've got it ready to go into meal prep containers. And this meal is just that easy. So I'll finish this up and we will see you when we're packaging it up. So we've got this entire bowl of our stir fry mixture. Got our meal prep containers for it. I don't want to have to switch it between bowls, so we're just going to eyeball this one. We're just going to start putting a bunch into each container and kind of even it out that way. For this, I am going to use a larger spoon, so I will be dirtying up a spoon for it. Make it go a little bit quicker. So I'll just put probably 2 heaping scoops in each one to start, and go on to the next. And then as we get to the end, I can start adding a little bit of extra to each one. And then, so this process, it's just going to look like this for all 7. And then the last little bit will get split between them again. So here's what the stir-fry meals look like. We've got over here, our steak is all sliced up and in its containers. Now it's just waiting on the sweet potatoes and the Brussels sprouts. Sweet potatoes are looking pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and throw them on a broil for the next few minutes to kind of get them cooked on top a little bit more, and then go ahead and pull them out. So let's go ahead and do that. Just them broil, let that go for a few minutes. We'll go ahead and put lids on these and start storing them away. And I'm going to get the Brussels sprouts. Now, I've got this pan free, so I'm going to throw a little cooking spray on it again. We're going to start dumping the Brussels sprouts out on here. There's 1 bag, 2 bags, 3 bags. Oh. I don't know why I lift if I can't open a bag of Brussels sprouts. All right, all 4 bags there. We're going to spread these out. I'm going to salt, pepper, and garlic powder these. And we're going to go and throw these in. All right, so now we're going to get these lidded up, get them put away. The fries should be done pretty soon. The Brussels sprouts not long after that, and then we'll be finishing up here. The sweet potatoes are now out of the oven, so we're going to go ahead and transfer those over with the steaks here. So we're just going to eyeball these as well, and then the last component will be the Brussels sprouts. Now we're to the point that we've got the steak and the sweet potato fries in the bowls. We're about to add the Brussels sprouts that are right over there. Again, we're just going to eyeball this. We know how much we have overall for the entire week. So we're just going to scoop some, put them in there, and then kind of even them out afterwards. We're going to do that for all 7 containers. And then we will show you what we've got, what the calories come out to be for each. Now that we're all finished up, we're getting cleaned up here. We've got all 3 of our meals right here for the day. So let's start with our breakfast. We have the egg, sausage, and cheese mixture that's going to go on 2 of our low-calorie tortillas. For this meal, it's about 689 calories with 73 grams of protein, a great way to start the day. At lunchtime, we're going to have our stir-fry mix. We could change lunch and dinner, but I'll probably eat my stir-fry mix for lunch each day. For this meal, it is only 414 calories with 44 grams of protein. And then finally, for dinner, we have the steak, Brussels sprouts, and sweet potato fries. This meal is 712 calories with 69 grams of protein. So for our entire day of eating right here, we have a total of 1,873 calories with 189 grams of protein. This is 189 grams. That's really close to right about where I want to be for the day with my protein intake. I want to be right around 200 grams. That's close enough for me. And this leaves some room that if I'm feeling hungry throughout the day, I could have a sandwich, another small meal, or a snack. I could have dessert after dinner, whatever I want to do there, and still be within my calorie deficit. So it's very easy to meal prep for yourself. This did not cost a ton of money for me to be able to prep this. 7 days worth of meals, 3 meals a day, 7 days. 21 meals, and I did not have to buy the chicken and the steak at Walmart this time. I got a pretty good deal on those at a local discount grocery store, but even if I figure in the amount that I used, I am looking at probably $50 or $60 for an entire week. 3 meals a day, 189 grams of protein a day. I think that's pretty good. And steak, I'm pretty excited about this one. I don't get to have steak hardly ever anymore since I do eat on a budget. Usually it's going to be something more like the chicken, rice, and veggies. Eggs I have all the time, usually not with sausage, so I'm looking forward to that too. Let me know if you found this helpful. Hopefully one of these meals is something you like. You can make it for yourself. This might give you an idea of how you want to prep your meals for the week, but no one needs to eat like me. This is what works for me. I'm going to really enjoy this. It's going to taste great. I'm not going to be starving all week, and still be in my caloric deficit. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.